Hey guys, I am so excited to do this call. I've been nervous about it, but I'm excited. At the same time, I think it's just nervous excitement. But I just want to welcome everybody. I'm so excited that you're joining us for this call. I'm going to start out by telling you a little bit about me and why I wanted to do this in the first place before we even get to the star of the show, which is Miss Julie. My name is Amanda Smearman. I'm an Orange Status presenter with Younique. I am also a work-at-home mom, and in addition to Younique, I'm a hairstylist and a makeup artist. I work 100% out of my house or on location and on my own schedule, and I know that I'm blessed and truly fortunate to be able to do that. I wanted to do a training on time management and life balance for a long time for my team, but honestly, I struggle with being able to relate to my team members who do work full-time in another job. While I used to work full-time outside of the house and even did so while working in a direct sales business, that was at a time where I wasn't looking to grow a business. It was before I really knew what was possible within the industry. The companies that I was with at the time, nobody ever explained it to me, so I didn't really understand it. So while I was working full-time at the time, I didn't really understand at all what the potential was. But one thing I've learned, and I'm sure that Julie will agree, is that whether you're working outside of the home, full-time, part-time, or you are able to work just from home, one thing that we all have in common is the need and desire to balance everything. I mean, come on, we all have this picture-perfect life in our heads, right? But it never really turns out exactly how we want it to, but we just need to learn to balance it all. We all have family, we have friends, household chores, other activities for ourselves, for our kids, all that's going on. So how do you balance it all? Well, last month I was so lucky to be able to go to Unified. It was an amazing experience, and it finally all sunk in there. I took this training back to my team, and I wanted to share it here with you all as well. So imagine a bunch of balls. Some are glass balls. Some are rubber balls. The glass balls represent your major priorities in your life. The rubber balls are going to represent important things in your life, but also things that can take a back seat for a minute if they needed to. Now imagine that you're juggling all of these balls. What happens when one of your glass balls needs extra attention? You can't just drop a glass ball. What will happen? It's going to break. You've damaged that glass ball. So you let a rubber one go. Why do you do that? Well, it's because it'll just bounce there until you're able to take it on again. So with all of these balls you're juggling, where does Younique fit in? Well, if you set a glass ball, you're wrong. And that was my aha moment from Unified, to hear Melanie actually say that Younique is a rubber ball. It really was like my Oprah aha moment. So Younique should be a rubber ball. Without your glass balls, meaning your marriage, your friendships, doing things with your kids, things like that, success means absolutely nothing. You're not truly successful if you got there by neglecting or damaging any of those relationships or portions of your life. The key is balance. For me, as a work-at-home mom, I work my business for about 2 hours in the morning while my husband is able to entertain our son. I also plan blitz outings and lunches with friends or potential presenters about 2 times a week. In the evening, when it's just my son and I'm 100% devoted to him. I put my phone up and rarely am on it during that time. Then at bedtime, I work again until my husband gets home at midnight. That usually gives me a solid, uninterrupted 4 hours that I can sit down and focus on reaching out to customers, leads, working on team training, personal development, and other things. I know that everyone has different schedules, and especially for those of you who work, whether it's full-time or part-time, you called in tonight wanting to learn some tips from one of the best. Julie Daniels is a Purple Status presenter who is awesome. She works full-time, and she hit Purple Status in about 8 to 9 months. That's incredible. She's one of the most driven women I've ever met. I did have the opportunity to meet her at convention, and it was amazing. Her dedication to her business really does inspire me daily. I see her posting stuff on Facebook all the time, and she's so driven, so dedicated, and I just love watching her. And I'm happy to be able to call her a friend. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and turn the call over to you, Julie.
Well, thank you so much, Amanda. That is almost has me in tears. I am, like you, I am nervous to be on this call, but I'm super excited because I think it is something that so many of us struggle with. And being that, I do work full-time, I have kids in sports, which anybody that has any kids in sports or extra activities, we know how long that takes away from our home. I mean, we're just always on the go. So when I started this business, I wasn't sure how I wanted to do it. I didn't know if I wanted to build it. I didn't know if I wanted to just sell. I wasn't really looking to grow a team. And in fact, my first 6 weeks, I didn't do that. So when I signed on, I started selling before I even got my kit. And in my first 10 days, I became yellow. And I asked a ton of questions, and I started doing research because I was not successful in other direct sales businesses that I had been in, and I wanted to change this time. And so something I learned from other leaders in the company, Nicole Smith is my direct sponsor, and she was so gracious. I asked her 101 questions in the beginning, and she answered all of them and helped me, and listening to other ladies in the business who all work from home, I said, I have to find something that's going to work for me. And something that I find that's really important is that you have to designate your time. You have to sit down and say, okay, in the car, I'm in there 30 minutes. I can listen to webinars. I can listen to any type of training that you don't necessarily have to look at the videos. You can certainly, get on YouTube and listen to a video. Use your time wisely. If you're limited and you say, I can only work Younique for 10 hours a week, you make those the best darn 10 minutes, 10 hours, whatever it be. You make it just zoned and customize it to fit for you. And I kind of want to give you some information on how I do it. And when you are limited on time, I do work full time. I have, my son is in sports, and I have, other activities with my other kids. So I'm constantly on the go. That's why 90% of the time I'm doing postings, answering calls. Everything is from my cell phone, which is the number one reason why I feel so many people are successful with Younique, because once you learn how to master your time and take action, you learn how to just get the ball rolling. So just to give you an example, I used to get up at about 6:30 every day to get ready for work. Well, now I get up by 5:45, 6 o'clock, and first thing I do is I go to my emails, and I answer any of my emails. My morning work is what I call my quiet time. That's when I answer emails, I answer any Facebook messages I can. I post on my team page a good morning message, something motivational, inspirational. I sit and I look at my to-do list, which I do the night before, because one thing that I learned is that you need to plan ahead. When you work full-time and you have kids, you have to plan ahead. And that doesn't mean to spend hours writing different charts. It means take 15 or 20 minutes and write down your 3 most important things that you need to do the next day. Income-producing activities that you need to do. Calling, past customers to follow up, because here we have a new launch coming, with new products. So you want to do that. You want to contact 3 to 5 new people about the opportunity. And what I tell my team is always lead with the opportunity. If they're not interested, you can definitely, either ask for referrals or lead into hosting a party. From there, you can, if they're not interested in hosting a party, then you can have them as a customer. They're going to fall in, most of the time, I would say a good percentage of the time, people are going to fall in those 3 categories. So I always say lead with the opportunity. Then if they're not interested in that, go to the hosting parties, and then from there, ask them to be a customer. And always ask for referrals. So next, that's really important is that you have a family, and like Amanda said, I too went to Unified, and I went, I believe, 2 weeks before her. The glass balls versus the rubber balls was a huge aha moment for me. And something that's helped me since I've gotten back is I had Younique as a glass ball. And sometimes I would let that glass ball get really close to hitting the ground, and I'd have to swoop it back up. But you have to remember, when you're working and sometimes things get so chaotic, you have to sit for a minute and reprioritize. And you do that in the shower. You know, you have limited amount of time, so I don't like to waste time. I will, you know, if I'm in line at the grocery store, I will sit there and post on Facebook or answer a text back or send a message to one of my teammates that, you know is really close to a promotion, and I'll send them something. I use my time as wisely as I feel that I can. So one of the major things that's helped me is I plan my meal a week in advance. If I know I'm coming home, like tonight, I made a roast. I put it in the crock pot this morning. You know, I know every day what I'm having. To me, it's taken so much stress off, and it sounds so silly, but it's something that's so simple that you can take 15 or 20 minutes to do, to plan your family meals, and that way you're not going through the drive-thru, you're not, rushed or whatever. Your meals are planned. Then you also have your income-producing activities planned. Then what you can do is you can sit down and you can actually work your business. I use my break times, my lunch times to make calls, follow-up emails, text, contacting my team, contacting my leaders so that they can contact their team. And I think one of the biggest things also is that you need to remember to brand yourself. We hear so much where when people think of Younique, you want them to think of you. When they think of you, you want them to think of Younique. So you need to brand yourself. You don't have time to not do that. You can have a sticker on your car. You can wear your shirt, have your Blitz cards, talk to your family members, your friends, your coworkers. Everybody around you should know that you are a presenter with Younique. Everybody around you should know that we have new products coming out March 1st. And it's very simple. I've not had people complain to me like, oh, my gosh, here she goes again. I just haven't had that because I believe it's all in the way that you say your words and how you're sharing it with them. I don't force-feed anybody these products. We all know how amazing they are, and all you have to do is just share the product and share what you like about it. And people who like you will respect what you have to say. People buy your personality. A lot of people don't know Younique. I still run into people that have not heard of Younique, but they, say, you know what, I'm going to try that. Well, they're not trying it because of the product. They're trying it because they like me. They like what I present. They're going to do the same for you. So, definitely write out your goals, whether it be, to reach out to 3 to 5 people each day, asking for referrals, offering the opportunity, doing follow-up calls. You need to write out your monthly goals as well each month. And you don't want to write something like, I want to be pink this month or I want to be blue this month. What does that mean? You have to ask yourself, if you are consistent in this business, it will pay off. My monthly goals are the same every month. 500 in sales and 3 to 5 new presenters on my team. And that's something that just I stay consistent with. I will be honest with you, since Christmas time I really haven't sponsored. But now with this new kit that's coming out, I'm really excited for this and the launch in Mexico and all this great stuff. So you just need to set goals that you can attain. And remember this, in order to get something done, you have to take action. You can plan all day long. You can read all day long. But if you don't take action, none of that's going to work. And that's the scariest part. But you got to believe in yourself. So with that, I hope that I answered anything or everything that I can. If anybody has any questions, feel free to contact me. And I'm going to hand this back over to Amanda.
Thank you so much, Julie. Like I already said, I appreciate you doing this call. It's just nice to have a different perspective with you working full-time. It's just nice to be able to hear that. And you gave a lot of great tips. I really appreciate it, and I think it's going to help a lot of people. So,
well, thank you. It is, it is definitely a balancing act. It's definitely one of those things that you have to tell yourself, when you work and you have kids, you cannot waste your time. You can sit on Facebook all you want, but if you're not taking action, it's not going to work for you.
Right. And like you said, you don't need to spend hours and hours planning. Spend 15 minutes at the end of your day planning the next day, and it's going to save you a lot of time. Right.
And usually I'll go to my kids each week and tell them, one night you get to choose dinner, and there's 3 dinners right out the way. Then I ask my husband, and I fill in the rest, and it's literally a 10-minute task. But then for me, it alleviates having to think, what's going to be for dinner? Mm-hmm. You're just, boom, you're done, and the follow-up calls are really starting to pay off for me. I've been in Younique for a year now, and following up with people, I'm now having people order, 2, 3, 4 times, and with the product launch coming, I'm, saying, I know how much you love that mascara. Guess what? We have bronzer coming out. I know it's going to be perfect for you. Or, I have a lady that always says, I hate having to always reapply the gloss. I called her up. She's ready to order the 7-pack of the lipstick. So you just have to reach out.
Yeah, definitely. Keeping in contact with your customers. And I usually do a Sunday planning session where, I plan the next day, the night before, but Sunday is the main day where I go through it and I see, okay, I have this, and this going on this week, and that way I can plan my business around whatever it needs to be planned around, and very little surprises pop up. So, and I forget a lot less doing that too.
Right. Right.
Right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. I am recording this call, so I'll be posting the playback information for anybody that wants to share it with their team, or just listen to it again if you want to. So I just want to thank you, Julie. You were awesome, and I appreciate you doing this for me.
Oh, well, thank you for asking me, and this was good. I'm sorry I kind of jumped around. I was kind of nervous and didn't look at my notes all the time. But if anybody has any questions, reach out to me on Facebook.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, everybody,
for calling in. Thank you, Amanda.
Okay. Thank you, Julie.
Good night.
Bye-bye.